You know, VASSY, I was talking to the guys at Loud Luxury a couple of weeks ago, and I was shocked that it had been like a year since the last time they were on the show. VASSY, it has been almost a year and a half since you've been on America's Dance 30. What the heck?
Well, Brian, you don't think about me anymore. You've become very busy lately. You're a big popular man.
I know. It takes me like 2 weeks to get back to your text messages.
And then on top of it, you give me a like a week later after blowing off. I'm like, why even give me a like? Just ignore it at this point. By the way, I thought about you a week after you text me a like.
If that isn't the most petty thing ever.
You're so mean.
But I really do appreciate you volunteering to come to Florida to punch me in the gut while I hold my breath to get rid of my hiccups.
Dude, that was so funny. I was like, pick me.
While you're down here, if you could please clean Aiden and Tucker's litter box, I would greatly appreciate it.
That would be my pleasure. I would clean their any day.
VASSY, welcome back to America's Dance 30. It is so great seeing you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too, Brian. Did you miss me?
I did miss you. You know, we chat every now and then in text, but it's been forever since I've gotten to, speak to you face to face.
I know, seriously. It's been forever.
Since the last time we chatted on America's Dance 30, you have been very busy. You got married. You had your honeymoon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that thing. Congratulations, VASSY. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
My most important question is, were you thinking of me during the honeymoon?
Actually, surprisingly, I probably was at some stage blowing up Instagram. But my husband's used to it now. He knows who you are. He knows about our karaoke moment in the car for 2 hours. He knows everything about you now. He knows if I post something. He's like, oh, that's that guy from, yeah. And I was like, yeah.
That guy that I want to steal his cat. That guy. Plus, you also released some of your acoustics as NFTs, which is incredible.
I did. I know. And I'm actually so excited because one of the collections sold out. So I'm so excited about that. And we just launched rewards for the next one, but I'm actually getting ready to release a holiday NFT collection. So I'm really excited about that too.
And how can people get information about that? Is there a special link or is it all vassy.com or?
There is a special link. If you actually go to my website and just click on my NFT thing, it'll take you there.
Or just make sure to follow VASSY on Instagram and all socials. You can get the information there too. Plus, you've got your latest smash pieces with bingo players and disco fries.
I know. I'm so excited about this song. We just released it literally a few days ago and the reaction's been great. I mean, we're blown away and we're really excited. But this is by far one of my favorites, probably the most favorite song, from everything, from a writing perspective, lyrically and vocally, and just the production. And this is so my vibe, my type of record. So for me, I'm excited about this song, regardless of what happens to it. I'm just excited.
And before we talk about how the song was born with bingo players and disco fries, what makes it your favorite song? Because you have put out some really good stuff.
I think melodically and the lyrics, and also it was a song that was written, during a time of my life that, I always try to put things that I go through in my life in songs, but not too literal, so it doesn't take away from the listener. It's just a really feel-good record, and it's got that nostalgic vibe to it. So those, big house explosive vocals, I mean, it's actually very my vibe, and I think in the past, maybe I felt more pressured to deliver a certain type of record because of the previous success I've had in those genres. Whereas this is definitely more my cadence. So that's why I just love singing it. The lyrics are just so beautiful, and the production's just, oh my God. I mean, it makes you want to dance. Really, Such a dope record.
And I will say that it's kind of a departure from your normal vocals. It's kind of along the same lines of, if I remember correctly, with Chase, where you're not like belting it out. You know, it's kind of more low-key VASSY singing.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely a new direction for me. And I'm really enjoying it. After having put Chase out and seeing how well Chase did, I thought, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't think the fans and radio would embrace that. That was a high risk release for me. And in fact, that was probably one of my most successful releases. Solo records with the boys, obviously, but just the way that it reacted at radio. And I thought, wow, I didn't see that coming. So then it allowed me as an artist to redefine myself a little bit and not be so boxed in, not feel so pressured to go a certain way. So I think now moving forward, all my records are just really going to be from the heart and not thinking about, just kind of going for it. And then, if it gets embraced, great. And if not, it was an eye-opener for me, for sure.
Well, Chase was your last number one. Hopefully Pieces is going to be your next number one. How was this song born with Bingo Players and Disco Fries?
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Thank you for saying that, Brian. If it goes number one, I'm keeping this little moment here.
You better.
I'll be blowing up your text. No, when the song came together, this is an interesting story because it started in London, and then LA, and then LA to the Netherlands, and then Netherlands, New York. And actually there was a bit of Australia in there too. But we literally created this, record around the globe. When I was happy with the vocal and I'd cut it, after I wrote it with a co-writer friend of mine here in LA. And I thought, who am I going to get to work on this with me? Like, I need someone that can bring that sound, an old school vibe. I don't want, too new school. I want something. And so I've always wanted to work with Bingo Players because I really love his sound. And I just literally reached out to him, in the DMs on Insta and was like, hey, let's work. And then he's like, I'm down. And I sent him the idea. He loved it straight away. And we just went back and forth a bit. And then we got the record to a place where, we fell in love with the record. And, we were just like, this is so cool. But there was, like, something missing. And even though we're like, this is so cool, there was just, I felt that, and he felt it. And I just was like, Disco Fries, no brainer. Those guys are amazing. They're so well crafted in the production. I just thought, getting the boys on this record is really going to help polish the record and give it, more of that commercial sound as well. So we sent it. They loved the record, and I love working with those boys. We had a number one a few years ago with Concrete Heart, and I just, I think they're so, they just work hard and they're so talented, and Nick's just a blast to work with. So
yeah, I love them to death. Not only helping everybody out, but also with all the other stuff that they do, showing the behind the scenes and finishing the track and helping people with their demos. They're really great in the industry. Now, something that I love to find out about songs are how many different versions there are, from when you start working on it to when it's finally mastered and sent out. There's two different aspects of this because there's the producer side and the songwriter side. So let's talk about the production side first. How many different tweaked versions were there of Pieces?
There was a few.
Now, when you say a few, is that a few?
I think at first Martin and I, from Bingo Players, we went back and forth a couple times, but he pretty much nailed it. After I said, hey, let's go like this. I always knew I wanted a bouncy piano. Like, I'm not a producer, right? So I don't press the buttons, but I just hear things in my head, and I know where you're going with this.
Oh, come on, let me say it. You hear a lot of things in your head.
So, I try to vocalize it. Like I said, I'm not like super techie, so I can't use all the terminology that producers use, but I just have a really good instinct for melodic sounds, because that's kind of what I do in my instrument. I like a lot of the drops in a lot of my records in the past, big EDM bangers, I voice out those drops so I can hear the melodies. But he just nailed it, that bouncy piano vibe. And we did go back and forth. And then, once Disco Fries jumped on, there wasn't too many from that. But, the song has an interesting, story. that we all had to evolve with. So it was cool. You know, we're all happy right now. It's all good.
Well, hold on. What is that? What is that interesting story?
No, not bringing. It's all good. We just had to. We faced a little obstacle there where there was some unknown stuff that we had to deal with, and so that was annoying. But anyway, it's all good. We worked through it. And, you know, we're good now, but we were all a bit annoyed at the time when it happened. So,
well, I'm annoyed with you right now for not telling me what that specific thing is.
I'm sorry.
It's like when people go, oh, I got something to tell you. Oh, never mind. I'm like, oh my God, my OCD, like I have to know now. Oh, you're killing me.
I know. I'm sorry, but I don't like drama. I don't want to but anyway, we were all just a bit annoyed. But anyway, these things happen sometimes. My goal is to make sure everyone's happy. That's always my thing. I'm very accommodating. And, I just want the best for the record. So, but, in this line of work, there's, lots of different personalities.
Things happen. Yeah, things happen. Now, let's talk about the songwriter aspect of it. When you are writing the song with your co-writer, how many different versions of pieces are there when you're writing it?
Well, that's actually that sort of pivots off what I was talking about. So the song had started in London, but then it came to LA, and then me and my co-writer worked on it. And then that's when we really formulated the song and, came up with the hook and everything. And so I think we nailed it. Like the instinctively it was there. Like that song came together within, it was like a 2-hour session or something. And we just nailed it. So I just got a really good gut feeling about this song. And similarly to Chase, believe it or not, Chase had one of those stories as well. Same with Pieces. Like it took me a minute to find the right home. And I'm very adamant. I like to hang on to a record until I feel it's really found the right home. And Chase, there was other, names and things, and it just, something never felt right. So I just, rejections, things like that. When you really believe in a record, you're like, no, I really believe in this one. Like I have to just hold out. So that's what we did also, I did on Pieces. And I'm so glad I did, because this could have gone a whole other direction, a whole different collaboration, which I'm not saying, but I'm so happy that I held out, because I feel like it's the best team, the three of us on this. Like it couldn't have been more magical.
Now, were you writing this on your honeymoon, or was this done prior?
No, the song was written last year.
Oh, wow.
So end of last year, like beginning of the year.
And do you play all your songs for your now husband before you even move on with it? Or do you wait until it's done and then play it for him?
Well, funny enough, because I do play it to him, because I always want a non-industry person to listen to the song and say, what do you think? And he's like, oh, I really, and he'll listen to me. I have a little studio set up at home, and sometimes, I'm messing around with stuff, and he's like, oh, I like that one. But a couple of weeks ago, I did the halftime show for the Denver Nuggets. And during my rehearsal with the Denver Nugget dancers and that, I actually did Pieces. And the crowd, because we had lots of people in the stadium, just there getting ready to set up. And everyone's like, oh, I really like that song. And that was my very first time, performing it to the public, sort of. And the crowd went nuts. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a good test.
That's awesome. Well, let's hope that the crowd around the world and on Dance Radio gets it as well, because it is such a great song. Congratulations on Pieces with bingo players and disco fries. VASSY, it is always incredible seeing you. Thank you for your time on America's Dance 30.
Mwah. I always love seeing you, Brian. Always. Even though, you and I have this...
Here we go. Turbulent.
So I guess I'll speak to you, next year?
Yeah, so I'll mark you down for 2024. Is that cool?
Ow!
God, that was perfect. Everything about that was perfect. I appreciate it. What is happening right now? I feel like I should do a dance or something. Hey, I'll pass it on to you. Oh my God. We are such dorks.
I know, seriously.